Hey everyone, my name is Whitney. I am a registered nurse, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be taking you meal prepping with me. I just want to show you how to prepare a week's worth of lunch following a whole food, plant-based vegan diet. So let's just get right to it. Just as a quick disclaimer, I'm not claiming to be a vegan because I'm not, but a whole food plant-based vegan diet is a very healthy, nutrient-rich diet to follow. And I like to pick it up every now and then for a few weeks at a time, anytime I need to refresh, get healthy nutrients inside of me, and get rid of some bad habits. But anyways, let's get to the store. Got some tofu, spinach, onions, my greens, butternut squash, picking up my fruits, frozen fruit. And we're just gonna fill this basket up like bam, 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 bam. All of this actually did add up to $90, but it was for way more meals than just this meal. And I was also shopping for my parents too. And we ended up splitting the bill, so it's just $45 for me. But anyways, I also had to fuel up on gas for the week. California gas is crazy, by the way. Next, I had to head over to another store for the sauce that I was looking for. My favorite sauce in the world. It's actually called B-word sauce. No, really, like B-word sauce. But it's so tasty, so delicious. It's vegan, creamy, and delicious. And then once I get home, I like to clear out all the dishes in the sink and the dishwasher just to have a nice clean slate for my meal prep. There we go. Then one thing I actually love to do is step back and admire all of the fresh fruit and produce I'm going to be putting in my body this week. Next, I wash all of my vegetables, all the produce, get it nice and clean, and set that out to dry and start prepping. First thing I'm going to be prepping actually is my smoothies, and I love to add ginger to my smoothies. It's just so, I don't know, it just gives it this really nice kick, this spice, just goodness to my smoothies. So I like to chop those up and throw them in there. Spinach, just for all the nutrients in there. I also like to do a couple of bananas, and then I do my oranges, I do berries, I do frozen mangoes, and a grapefruit as well. And I also like to put pineapple juice in there because it's so sweet and delicious. And you really it's like just such a yummy, delicious natural sugar. I also like to add my vegan protein powder just for extra protein, and kind of makes the smoothie more of like a meal, I feel like, you blend that up, and that's my mom and grandma in the background. They're, I don't know what they're doing. They're just watching. They're observing, I guess. I didn't leave enough room for the mangoes, so I had to blend it up and then add them in there. Next, I gave it a little taste test. It tastes good, so I pour it up into my cups for the week, and they all have their own twist tops on there, so no worries there. Looks good, all set, ready to go inside the freezer, pack it all in. And what I like to do is take them out to thaw every morning before I go to work, and it actually stays pretty well for me. Next up, me and my lovely grandma here are going to start chopping up all of the produce. I'm going to start with the butternut squash. It is such a tough thing to peel, and clearly I'm struggling a bit here. But anyways, after I peel it up, then I start chopping it. I like to do like cubes as best as I can. And then I'll get some parchment paper and spread it all out. I like the parchment paper because I don't have to use oil. It keeps it from sticking, and I like to just have the natural juices and sugars, bake out of it. I also sometimes use a frozen butternut squash. I had some left over, so I just added that to the pan. I put it in the oven on 350, let that bake, and then I get my tofu, cut it, and let all the juice out of it. I'm not 100% sure if this counts as whole food plant-based actually, but it's 100% tofu or 100% soybeans, so I don't know. I eat it. Anyways, I like to dice my tofu into cubes. I forgot also, instead of cutting it, I like to tear it as well because it helps give it more texture when you bake it, and it makes it more like meaty, I guess. See the difference? Anyways, so after that, I like to season it with barbecue seasoning, black pepper, smoked paprika, onion powder. This is garlic powder here. Season it up. Then I like to stir it, get it all coated around. I don't add much seasoning because I'm always afraid to overdo it. I just figure less is more. You could always add more, but it's hard to take away. So That's my philosophy. So I get more parchment paper, spread that out evenly over the pan, and this is also going to go in the oven at 350 as well. And while I'm here, I just want to mix around the butternut squash, flip it over as much as I can, and start the quinoa. So I got 1 cup of quinoa, and I have 2 cups of water that I'm going to add here. So I mix it all together and bring it to a boil and let that cook. In the meantime, I take out the tofu and flip that over after about maybe 15 minutes or so. And then I like to add sugar-free barbecue sauce on top of it. That's also not totally whole food plant-based, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Put that back inside the oven and get to my kale. And my mom, she actually was helping as well. She took the time to tear up pieces of kale into bite-sized pieces and then put it in the lettuce dryer and dry that all off. Then I take the tofu out after another 15 to 20 minutes. The quinoa is done now as well. It looks kind of dry, but I actually kind of like it that way since in a salad, I really don't want it to be soggy. So this is actually the perfect texture for me, for this purpose at least. And I add everything together, the tofu, butternut squash, and quinoa. Get my bowl of kale and start adding my warm ingredients on top. Sprinkle on top some red onions and green onions that my lovely grandma, chopped up for me. And then I like to add some avocado on there as well. It makes it so creamy and rich and delicious. I like to cube it up. It makes me feel fancy. Then comes in my favorite, the B-word sauce. It actually does have oil in it though, but it is vegan. There's no milk products in it. It's almonds and grapeseed oil and some other spices. And wow, look at that. It's so delicious. Next, I bag up all of the kale into serving-sized portions. Get that all set out. I also portion out the warm ingredients into their own glass containers. And then I crack open a cold one with my grandma to celebrate a nice, successful day of meal prep. It's an Izzy, by the way. So this is just one of the few of my favorite go-to whole food plant-based meals that I like to have when I am following a whole food plant-based diet. It's light, it's fresh, it's filling, it's healthy, so it's one of my favorites. I also really like having the frozen smoothies just ready to go. In the morning, I'll just take it out of the freezer, let it thaw out for a while, and it's a nice little snack, a little treat I get to have on the way to work. It's sweet, it's tasty, it's nutrient rich, and it's also filling because I have that vegan protein powder in there as well. And it's really just the easy way to get all those nutrients inside of me, like the berries, the greens, and all those antioxidants that come with it. But all in all, plant-based eating isn't too hard. It's more so just a matter of 1, having recipes you actually like to eat, and then 2, having and taking the time to prepare them, which also isn't always the smallest of tasks. But it definitely is worth it to just have nice, healthy meals ready to just grab and go. And not only does it make it convenient for the whole week, but I literally saved so much money this week. I did not go to Starbucks. I literally did not spend any money outside of what I spent out the grocery store, because literally my meal was just ready for me right there in the fridge to just grab and go. It was just too simple and easy. That's another perk as well, in addition to your body being healthy and all that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like. If you'd like to see more, don't be afraid to go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again so much. Bye.